Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Chantel. It has been a long time since I've been back in this space with you all, and I'm so excited to just be here. I was like, you know what? Today I am going to just sit down and tape and connect with you all. So if this is your first time, welcome to Always Be Reading. Again, my name is Chantel, and I'm so excited you are here. If this is not your first time and you've been like, girl, where have you been? I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to tell you all about what's been going on and why I have not been here, but I am, again, happy to be back. So let's see. The past few months have been extremely busy for me. I graduated my daughter, my husband and I, and she started college. So just the whole like start to college, it took a lot of energy, you guys. Gathering stuff, packing, making sure classes were, scheduled properly, going to orientation sessions, which I think I went to 2 as a parent. It was a lot of stuff. And, but she's there. She loves it. She has adjusted well. She has friends. She likes her professors, her classes, and it really has been a smooth transition. But it did take up a lot of your girl's time. Number 2 reason, I still have 2 kids at home and I homeschool. I homeschool all of my kids. And so during this summer season, what that means for me, it's like scheduling them for classes and ordering supplies, and I teach them literature. So it also means like determining what I'm going to read and lesson planning and all of that stuff for the class. So that took up a bit of my time as well. Number 3 reason, travel. This time of year has become the time of year where I do the most traveling for my job. So yes, you might be getting a video or 2 from me from a hotel. I'll see. It all depends upon the lighting, because I don't know about you. I don't know what's going on with hotels these days. It's like it is dark in like hotel rooms. I am a person that likes light. I like a lot of light. I like natural light. I like the light in the walls. I need the light. So maybe I'm extra sensitive to the darkness. And it's also one of the things that's irritating me about what's going on right now in our situation, because the lighting, I haven't figured that out. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't have one of those ring things. I think I need to like buy me something that I can take with me so that I can, we'll see what happens. But travel has been taking up some of my time because it's just, I'm busy like all from the morning all the way into the evening. It is just busy, busy, busy. And then I want to say, oh, yes. So the other reasons why, which I'm really excited about, why I have not had this time with you guys in this way is because I stumbled into 2 different projects that have been bringing me joy. One, I have been doing what I call author talk. So I've had the privilege to sit down with a couple of authors and really hear about their books, talk about their books, but most importantly for me, to learn about their journey as writers. And both authors that I've talked to thus far have really inspiring stories. So the first author that I sat down and spoke with his name is Sunny Hudson, and he wrote this book, Let the Truth Be Told, which I really, really love. I will link in the show notes below the video where I have my book talks about it and our interview. So you guys can check that out. And then he introduced me to his author friend, whose name is Camille Harwood. And she wrote Carolina Girls. I always want to say California. It's Carolina Girls. And we just wrapped up our author talk. And I had such a great time speaking with her and hearing about her journey. Her story is very encouraging. If you are a writer, both of these episodes will really encourage you in your walk, but it also will give you some really practical information if you're looking into self-publishing. And then coming up at the end of October, I have the pleasure of sitting with my friend Alexandra Villasante. I call her Alex, but I'm not going to say her whole name here for the people, and talk about her new novel that is coming out soon. I cannot wait. And so I will leave that also in the show notes below so that you can get your copy. So I just really love encouraging authors, and I think that these conversations help connect me to literature and to reading in just a different way. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to sit down with them and share them with you guys. So the other thing that's been keeping me rather busy, you guys, is what I'm calling Books with Friends. If you are familiar with my channel, you probably have seen a couple of my videos, Books with Friends, but I thought I would just share with you what it's all about. It literally, though, is, you guys, it's me sitting down with a book and a friend. I don't even remember how I stumbled upon this concept. It just was really a deep desire. And I asked a friend that I met from work, but we have a very dear friendship, if she would read a book with me. And she was like, yes. So at the time, I think I was reading Parable of the Sower for a book club, but I wasn't able to attend that book club meeting. So I was like, will you read this with me? And she did. And it was, I think it was both of our first times reading this work. I've never read Octavia Butler before. I'm very familiar with her, though, as an author, and I respect her greatly. But sci-fi really isn't my thing. It's not my jam. And so I never was really motivated to read her work. I am so happy that I read this. Please, please, please. This is important. This work right here is an important work, especially for the times that we're living in and where we are finding ourselves as a nation. So I highly recommend that you read this. I'm not going to go into the details here. I will link my conversation that Stephanie and I had about this book below. And I think I also did a Substack article on this as well. And so I will link that in the show notes below as well. So Octavia Butler. Stephanie is coming back. We had such a great time reading this. This is the first book in a trilogy. And we had such a great time reading and discussing this book that we agreed to move to book number 2, Parable of the Talents. And I haven't started reading this one yet, but I cannot wait. It is a little bit longer. I don't know if you all can see, than the first book. But I really am looking forward to reading this book. And I can't wait. I'm going to leave the date of our conversation will be somewhere on the screen when I figure that out, because you all know me in technology. But I really enjoyed Octavia Butler's writing so much, just such a prolific writer, that I went ahead and also got a collection of short stories called Bloodchild. And so there is just a collection of short stories. I really like to read short stories, especially when I feel like I just am pressed for time, or I'm in between reads, or almost, short stories for me are almost like a palate cleanser. Like they're like a little sorbet between my bigger works. So I went ahead and I got this. I don't know like exactly when I'm going to fit this in, but I wanted to have it. So there that is. Okay, so the next book with friends that I did was with my husband, my best friend, my husband, and the book is Chain Gang All Stars. And this, you guys, if you've heard me talk about this book, I've talked about this book so many times. And I am a fan of not only this book, but of this author, Nana Kwame Adije Brenya. And it is just such a great read. I will, I'm going to link all my stuff. I did a book notes review. I will link the conversation. So check those out. But if you are looking for a fiction work that is set in a futuristic kind of world of ours, but it's very relatable, and deals with injustice and the prison system, the private prison system, with kind of like a gladiator kind of style. That's just a tip, you guys. That's just a tip. This is such a good read. So it actually is one of my favorite reads of this year thus far, and that was very surprising. So check this one out. And I really enjoyed having a conversation with my husband about this book. And when I was reading it, I was like, oh, he's going to love this. And he did. He likes it. He really enjoyed it. So, yeah, that was like my second book with friends. My third book with friends was around Toni Morrison's jazz. I had a conversation with my friend Sean Campbell, and he actually picked this book out for us to read. And when he did, my heart just was like, oh my gosh, not Toni Morrison. Like Octavia Butler, I respect Toni Morrison. I've actually bought like a lot of her books. I've never finished one. I started to read Beloved and did not, and just stopped. That was years ago, years ago. And so I just was like, I'm really not, Toni Morrison isn't for me. Like, okay, that was my younger, maybe foolish self, or just my younger self. We could just say that. And so, but I was like, this is a book that you want to read. We're going to read this because this is Book with Friends and this is what we do. So I started reading this. This is so good. So happy that a friend's brought this book into my life. So happy for the assignment because I think that's the only way I would have read it, honestly. And I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation around this book. I'm actually working on my book notes review. I haven't done that yet, but when I do that, I will link it back into the show notes. But it is set in 1920s Harlem, and it's a love story, but it's not your typical love story, and it's beautifully written as only Toni Morrison can write it. And it is a treasure. It's actually up there as my favorite book of the year. So it's Contending with Chain Gang All-Stars. It's like a battle going on. And I really, really enjoyed my conversation with Sean. We enjoyed it so much that Sean is coming back to talk with me about Beloved. So this is part of a trilogy. I think the next one is Paradise. Jazz, I think, is the one that sits in the middle. Don't hold me to that, y'all. But I think it begins with Beloved. So we're starting going back and we're going to read Beloved. And so we'll have that conversation. I will leave the date down here so you guys can check it out. And maybe you can read it and join in on the conversation as well. Because I enjoy jazz so much, I also got some other Toni Morrison books that I don't have on my shelf. One is God Help the Child. I have not started reading this one. But I am going to give this a read. This one is, this one seemed interesting to me. I'm just going to read what it's about. It says, at the center of the novel is a young woman who calls herself Bride, whose stunning blue-black skin is only one element of her beauty, her boldness and confidence, her success in life, but which caused her light-skinned mother to deny her even the simplest forms of love. There is Booker, the man Bride loves and loses to anger, Rain, the mysterious white child with whom she crosses paths, and finally Bride's mother, herself, Sweetness, who takes a lifetime to come to understand that what you do to children matters and they might never forget. I got this book because a lot of my life's work also centers around children, and so I'm really interested to discover this point that was last made about what we do to children matter through the way of story. So, and then the next one that I've had and I uncovered, because like I said, I have a lot of her works, is Home. And this one is about Frank Money, who is angry, a veteran of the Korean War who, after traumatic experiences on the front lines, finds himself back in racist America with more than just physical scars. His home may seem to alienate him, but he is shocked out of his crippling apathy by the need to rescue his medically abused younger sister and take her back to a small Georgia town that they come from and that he's hated all his life. As Frank revisits his memories from childhood and the war that have left him questioning his sense of self, he discovers a profound courage he had thought he could never possess again. So this is really interesting to me, and I decided to pick this one up because I actually love historical fiction. There may not be a lot of that in here, but I'm a war person, and the Korean War is one of my favorite wars. If you are ever in the DC area, go to the Korean War Memorial. There's nothing like it on the mall. And go at night. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. My upcoming books with friends, I'm so excited about. I do not know if I have the order correctly, but again, I will put it in the show notes below. this next one, I keep hitting my orchid, sorry, hope you don't break, is Dream Count. So I read this book. It was part of the start of my birthday. I got to meet the author at a book club. I am a huge fan, and this, yes, love this book. And I'm so excited to sit down with my sister and two of my friends to discuss this. So it's a conversation that will be fun, full of fun and enlightening. And I'm so ready for it. I'm like getting my notes ready. I'm trying to get all my thoughts together, and so I can really kind of lean into that conversation. So if you have not read this, please read it. Join in on the conversation on the date that's here somewhere. Yay! I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this conversation. And then I am having a conversation with my cousin, who recommended that we talk about this book. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. And the funny thing about this book is I read this book years ago. Like I found it at on a book table, like a thrifting table, and I picked it up and I read it. I halfway remember it. I know I enjoyed it. And I do not know where this book is. So I recently got me a new copy of it, and I started reading it in preparations for my chat, and things are beginning to come back, and I really am enjoying it. So this book is about Eleanor. Sorry, guys, I think I have like an eyelash in my eye. It says she struggles with appropriate social skills and tends to say exactly what she's thinking. Nothing is missing in her carefully timetabled life, where weekends mostly consist of frozen pizza, vodka, and phone chats with mommy. But everything changes when Eleanor meets Raymond, the bumbling IT guy from her office, whose big heart will ultimately help Eleanor find the way to repair her own profoundly damaged one. So this is, I think, like self-discovery, love story, love of self, love, and maybe the romantic way. Again, I'm excited because I don't remember all the bits and pieces of it. So it's familiar, but it's still fresh. It will still be fresh for me. And I'm looking forward to talking to my cousin Michelle about this one. And lastly, I think, unless I set another date, I am reading this book, A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles, with my friend Lucilla, and she recommended this book. And I'm going to read it to you. Oh my goodness. The sticker is over some of the, let me see if it's, no, okay, so I will try to read it to you guys. It says, when, in 1922, 30-year-old Count Alexander Rostov is deemed an unrepentant aristocrat by a Bolshevik tribunal, he is sentenced to house arrest in the Metropole, a grand hotel near the Kremlin. And it goes on from there, and I can't read you the rest because it has a sticker on it. But this is a fun and witty book. I'm really enjoying it thus far. Something totally kind of different for me to read. And I'm happy that it came my way. So I'm really excited for this conversation with my friend Lucilla. So that is my books with friends, you guys. It has taken a lot of my time, because the format is a little different, and I have to prepare differently for that. So I'm still reading. I'm reading lots, which I'm loving, and I'm having great conversations. And I want to invite you guys into those conversations. If there is a book that you read that we're going to be talking about, or a book that you're interested in reading, I really hope that you will find time to join in on the conversations. The dates that I listed for my Books of Friends are on Mondays. We go live, which is also a new thing, you guys, going live. We go live Mondays at 7 p.m. I will be sending out little reminders, because if you're like me, you can appreciate a good reminder, for the book that we're going to be discussing, and also the date and the time. And I really do hope that you all can join us and join in on those conversations. I don't think that I'm going to do any for the month of December, because I think that I kind of want to take a pause and also have the month of December be some like reflection time for me to kind of figure out like what I liked, what I didn't like, and how I want to move forward, and also to be able to hear from you. So I do not think I will continue Books with Friends in December, but I am looking forward to picking it up in the new year. So, you guys, that's it. I just wanted to take a few minutes, and I've taken more than I thought I would, to just catch you up on my life and let you know what's happening, let you know that I'm still here, I'm still reading, and I'm still excited to share with you guys all the bookish things. I wish you well, and I hope that you treat yourself to something good. Be kind to yourself. And as always, you guys, stay reading. Bye.